Welcome back to a new video. I'm in the bowels of Mildred Rose and I'm going to be working on this Seacock. I installed this a couple years ago. It's been working great. Last year I had to re-lubricate it. I seem to get about 2 seasons each time I lubricate the Seacocks. So last year I did it, but the problem was after I put it in the water, I noticed that the handle kind of went down on its own, which is not good. It should have enough friction to stay in any position. So, but thank goodness I have this valve here, and that kind of propped up the handle. So what I need to do is basically just tighten the nuts here on the end. You have the lock nut and the main nut, so I just need to tighten those. And basically you have to do it by feel, and you'll know when it's just right. I don't have a camera mount. I'm holding this in my hand because there's literally no room in here. I don't know if I can do this with one hand, so I'm going to try to tighten the nut. So I do actually have this. This is a Spartan Seacock. I do have the Spartan wrench I got from them. It's lubricated with Spartan grease. So let's see if I can tighten this up a little. I'll try to do this with one hand. Probably shouldn't take a lot. Let's see how that did. Nope, still not. Let's give it a little more. Okay, so that's staying on its own. I think once it gets in the water, it may add its own lubrication, so I'm going to give it a little more. Maybe another 1/8 of a turn. That's definitely too much. Okay, turn this back here. That's not going to work because the handle's moving. Put the handle all the way the other way. Turn it back a smidge. Sorry if using technical terms. It's a smidge. Needs a little bit more of a smidge. Maybe a smidge and a half. Okay, another smidge. Actually probably a little loose, but I'm going to tighten the lock nut now, and that should put a little more pressure on it. Yeah, there was no way I could film that. I mean, this engine bay is so tight. So the best way I can describe what I did was, if you've ever adjusted valves on your engine, you know that you hold the bottom nut tight while you tighten the set screw on the valve, so the valve adjustment doesn't move. So that's pretty much what I did. So the back wrench, the Spartan wrench, I basically got it to exactly the friction that I wanted, and I held that wrench while I tightened the 19mm on front. So now I have enough friction that the handle stays up and enough movement that it's not going to freeze. So I think we're good. So let's take the wrenches off, and you'll see the handle It'll stop in any position, and there's just enough friction to hold it in any position. But I do kind of like that I can put it here as an emergency so it can't fall closed. So that's always my fear, is that this is going to fall closed due to vibration. So that's it on this Seacock. I'm going to check and then service, if necessary, the other two Seacocks in the boat, but I think that they're probably going to be fine. But every year you need to look at all of your Seacocks, look at all the mounting hardware and everything. That's why I have a new Seacock. A few years ago I came down to inspect it, and then as soon as I touched the handle, the entire Seacock moved, because the backing plate down here was wood and it rotted. So I made one out of fiberglass and put a new Seacock in. That's why I got the Spartan one. And this one won't rotate because it has two bolts going through the hull. So it locates this, so the Seacock itself is part of the boat now. It's not going to go anywhere. So that's why I went with this one. So this Seacock is done, and I will go inspect the other ones. The other two are original to the boat and they're excellent. So I'll be back. Okay, we're on the head. So here's the Seacock in the head. This is a Blake's. It's original to the boat and it's excellent. So I did service this last year. You can actually still see some of the grease. Knowing me, I probably put too much grease. I tend to do that. So basically, all chances are it's going to be fine. I probably won't have to rebuild it, so let's check it. So it goes really smooth, no binding, just enough friction. You do it with one finger. It does not leak. So I'm going to run with this next year. I mean, I'll check it again in the spring just before launch, just to make sure that it's still operating. But that is fine. And let's go check the other one in the bow. Okay, we're in the bow. Let's open the locker that I repaired a video or two ago. Remember how the hinges were all frozen? So, see, it still falls on its own weight, so the hinges are good. So let's check this Seacock here. Again, this is another Blake's, and this is a smaller one. This is a 3/4. The other one was 1.5 inches. So let's check this one. Operates real smooth, and you can still see some of the old grease, and that's actually Blake's grease that I did actually order from England. So I wanted to keep everything original. It's really nice grease. It smells wonderful. It smells very commercial or industrial, so it's a real good grease. And so both of those Seacocks are fine, so I'm not going to have to do anything to these. I will check them again in the spring before launch, but at this moment I'm happy with them. And that's about it for this video. Nice short video, but this just goes to show you need to inspect your Seacocks. If you don't service these or check them, they can sink your boat. Make sure you have the right clamps on them and everything. So very important part of your boat. So thanks for watching, and hope to see you on the next video. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.